going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna be making some pure copper bullion bars very soon. We are cranking along right now. These things are running like well-oiled machines. These bars are getting extremely thin. I would say by the end of the week we might be ready to drop these bars down deeper, which I may have to clean out the fluid and get the muck off the bottom so we don't get any shorts. But these are both doing absolutely amazing right now. So I've ordered a few new things just to make life a little bit easier. The first thing is I went and grabbed a freshy Home Depot bucket, nice and clean. And I'm going to use this to dump all of our... Look how shiny those are. God. All of our copper crystals in this, because that glass jar that I was using, yeah, that thing's going to fill up way too quick. I think that glass jar will hold like 15 pounds. And I'd like to get beyond that before we start firing the forge up. So in this bucket right now we have about 8 pounds of pure copper crystal. So the other things that I ordered basically is this, which just arrived. This is the new filtering setup here. So my original setup was a 1 gallon fermenting flask, a funnel, and coffee filters, and it works, but some of the fluid, like the coffee filter, slides around and some of it gets over the edge, and once the muck gets in there it just slows down to nothing, and it's like painfully slow. And I don't want any of this to be painful, you know what I mean? I want to enjoy doing this. So we're gonna keep this flask anyway. It will come in handy because as we filter through this, we can just dump it in here, because we got 2 gallons to filter. This is only 200 milliliters. So I tried to find the biggest one that I could. They do make bigger ones, but they're really expensive. So this was the cheapest, biggest one that I could find. It was $100 for this whole setup. Little vacuum pump, the hose, all this glassware came with it. The filtering neck, which is kind of cool. It's like a texture, sanded finish there. That sits right on there. Then you have this little clamp, nice aluminum clamp, and then this comes off and you put your filter paper here, and it's like this weird like filtering stone or like glass. I don't know what that is, but it's smooth as a baby's arse. But there's these little filtering discs that I bought that are supposed to go in on this, and then you put this on there, make a sandwich, and then you seal it off with the clamp. Then you pour it in, turn on the pump, and it should suck it all through, leaving all the junk at the bottom on that little piece of filter paper. And if the filter paper doesn't come in time, then I'll probably just use a coffee filter for now. But all of this other stuff we will use, even this. I might even be able to use this for transferring fluids around it, whatever. But the other thing that I ordered, just to I just zapped myself on the mat. Other things that I ordered to make things easier is a water distiller, because I bought 10 gallons so far of distilled water. Yeah, it's cheap, you know, it's like $1 or whatever, but it's like something I have to go get. You know what I mean? I have to go to the store and go get it. It'd be easier just, you know, it's like gallons. I have to get gallons and gallons and gallons, and it's, yeah, it would just be easier if I could just distill it at home. And plus I have many things that I can use a water distiller for at my house, so it's not like the end of the world, you know? Well, we got some new toys to play with. Water distiller just arrived. So we're gonna set this bad Larry up and see how she works. Also, I was at Home Depot today. I didn't even realize they made these. I was in the paint section and I found these. You know, the 5-gallon Home Depot buckets are all over the store. But you have to go over to the paint section in the far back corner of the store and you'll find these 2-gallon Home Depot buckets. Little baby buckets. They're perfect, man. Maybe not perfect for doing that because they are slightly smaller in diameter, but for filtering out the fluid, once I filter it in that, I can dump it in this bucket because there's 2 gallons of fluid in there. This will hold it. Then I don't have to do that 1-gallon fermenting flask and a bowl. You know what I mean? I can dirty one thing. I also grabbed another one for our pure copper crystal. So we can work on filling this thing up close to the top, a 2-gallon bucket, and once this thing is getting close, we'll go fire up the forge. Alright, so it came with some charcoal packets. This thing right here, this is like a little basket, and you put the charcoal packet in there, so as the water comes out, it's going through charcoal. This is all stainless. There's a little fill line right there, so you know where to fill it up to. Also came with some cleaner, so you can descale and clean out the inside. Came with a lid that screws on this, if you'd like. And this is the filler neck. So it looks like you just fill this up with hot water, not cold, right to the brim, and then dump it in here. So we got the Trump edition. Yeah. Yeah, I had to put that on there. I had to put it somewhere. Oh, and look at that. One of these completely full is exactly what you need inside. Alright, now I need 2 hands, but this lid basically goes on and then you plug it into the back and then plug it in the wall. Alright, and there it is. Not too bad. It is a little noisy. And you can hear the fan. It's like a nice white noise though. I like that kind of noise when you're trying to sleep, you know? Blocks out the kids next door. But yeah, you can see there's a coil in there, a stainless steel coil. It just wraps around. It sucks air in here and blows it out the top to cool off that steam, condense it back into a liquid. Then it goes into here, goes through some charcoal, and into the bin. So from what I've seen in the instructions, you have to put hot water, not cold water. Obviously it'll have to work a lot less if you put hot water in versus cold. Then it will have to heat it all up and waste more electricity. You know, my water tank already did some of the work for it. But as soon as you can see there's 2 plugs in the back. You plug in the lid to one, and then you plug in the other one and plug it into the wall. As soon as I plugged it in, it just turned on. You can push this button all you want, it doesn't do anything. I think that's maybe to reset it after you want to do another cycle or something, I don't know. I'm hoping that this thing shuts off when it's done. I hope that it like has a temperature sensor in there or something. So when it gets to a certain temperature, it realizes it has no water and it shuts off. But we will see. It says in the directions that it'll take 15 minutes before water starts coming out, and it takes 4 hours to do a complete cycle and fill up this whole gallon in 4 hours. That's pretty good. I thought it was going to take longer than that. The only thing I'm worried about is my cat, Duke. He likes to screw with stuff. So if he came up here and bumped into this, then I will have a gallon of water on the floor But I figured out if you, basically this little filler neck just goes on there. And there's a little nipple, I guess, if you will. You slide it up to it. But if once you slide it up to it, if you turn it like that, then it's a lot harder. I mean, if you pushed it hard enough, it would come off. But he would have to get in between here and push, which I feel like is less likely than side to side. But if he knocks it off, then maybe I'll put a giant rubber band around it. But yeah, we'll see. Let's let this run and see how she does. So this thing worked really good. I got 2 gallons done last night. It takes about 4 hours. It finished around 9 o'clock at night. I filled it up again, turned it on, and went to bed. Figured that would be the best way to figure out if it shuts off by itself. It does. You know, I figured it was, you know, dummy proof or whatever. But you never know sometimes. But I had one issue. This little thing was touching the little nipple, and the water was running down and around the lid, and it was coming outside the thing, and I had a big pool of water on the countertop. So it did also come with a little rubber hose, so I just put the rubber hose on there, and I'm going to try it with the hose this time, see if it does any better. But it's crazy once you do a couple of gallons and look at the bottom of this thing, and it's like brown. There's a whole bunch of muck at the bottom. It's good to see you're getting some crap out of your water anyway. But anyways, we're gonna harvest. It's been 3 days now. I haven't touched this. Wow, these bars look like they're getting really thin. It might be time to check on the bars and drop them down in the fluid as well. At least on this one. Yeah, we're gonna pull those out and check on them and see what they look like. But first we're gonna harvest these 2 wires, see what we have, and fix these things up. Yeah, 3 days is it. That's the sweet spot. If I went another day, I wouldn't have been able to get this out. It was very tight getting this out. Look at those, man. Holy smokes. This one is like short little fat nuggets. And this one's like long trees. Interesting. The only thing that sucks about this is your hands are always green from the copper sulfate. But yeah, I'm gonna harvest all this off. I'm gonna break off as much as I can, and then we'll go check in on the bars and set it all back up. Alright guys, and there it is. There's 3 days of growth on 2 setups. And we got 2.2 pounds in 3 days. And keep in mind, this still has a bunch of weight to it. Like, there's a lot on this wire that I can't get off. And surprisingly, this one, for whatever reason, those little nuggets, the close clumped nuggets, they're fairly easy to break off. Like, I can just use my thumb and push them around and they just break off. This one, the one that's producing the jetters, the trees of life, yeah, these I need channel locks. I need channel locks to break these suckers. Oh, that's a nice one. Look at that beauty, huh? Oh, look at that. That is quite cool. So I just took a coffee filter and folded it over on itself, so it's like 2 layers, and just let it hang out. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's turn on the pump. Oh, that's quiet. Very quiet. And let's start dumping it in. Alright guys, well, we experimented for a couple of weeks and we got our copper purification process kind of dialed in. But now we have to put our attention towards the filtering process, because I do not have this dialed in. I tell you what, this is really bad. I've been here for an hour. And we didn't even filter most of that. I kind of poured off the tops because it was clean, put it in there. But now we're getting down to the sludge, and it is really bad. It is so slow. This even seems to be faster than the vacuum filtering thing. But see, here's the thing, right? These are not the proper filters. The proper filters, I checked on them. They didn't even ship yet, so I canceled them and ordered a different set of the proper filters for this. The little disc filters that'll fit right in there. Those will be here tomorrow. And then this vacuum pump is trash. Like, it's tiny. So I did a little research on vacuum pumps, and you can get like a 10 liter. They're all by like liters, so like a 10 liter pump, a 15 liter pump, all the way up to, I've seen like 50 liter pumps and bigger depending. But I saw a couple of 50 liter pumps and they were $600. 15 liter pump was $179. So I kept searching and searching and searching, and I found probably Chinesium, but hey, it'll do the job, right? I found a 50 liter vacuum pump. It's a big beast. For 125 bucks. It was cheaper than the 15 liter. So I ordered the new filters and I ordered the new vacuum pump, because this is definitely the worst part of purifying copper, is filtering the fluid. And we're gonna have to do this twice a week. Well, once per container. You know, once a week, 2 containers. And if it's gonna take me several hours to do it, I'd rather invest in the right equipment to make it faster. You know what I mean? Alright guys, well, I got down to the last little tiny bit, but this stuff is so bad. It is so thick. There's no way I'm filtering that with what I have. So I'm gonna go and use this for its intended purpose, which is killing weeds. You know, it's not gonna go to waste. So I'm gonna go pour this on a few trouble areas in the yard and get rid of those pesky weeds. And then we're gonna set this back up. So once I got down to that last little bit of muck at the bottom, I went out to my hose and I used this bowl and I washed the muck out of there into here. And then basically I used the water and panned it like gold, you know, and just kept pouring off the muck into the ground, keeping the copper bits. And those copper bits I threw back into the scrap bin, basically. Because I don't want to put them in there, because I don't know if those copper bits came off of the bar, if they were pure, I don't know. And I don't want to take the chance, because we know this is pure. I don't know what that stuff at the bottom was. It was copper, but not taking the chance. But yeah, we'll have to attempt this filtering process again this weekend for this one. But I'm gonna wait until the new stuff arrives. This one should be good for a while anyway. Yeah, I know, dude. We're back up and running. Isn't it great? Now we've got the copper bars fully submerged. But the only thing is, now the wire is down in the liquid as well. So I hope that it chews the bar first before it attacks the wire. And I'm sure we're gonna get to a point, you know, where there's so little of the copper bar left that it's like becomes not worth trying to, you know, it'll have to get thrown into a different bin, melt it down later into another bar, and then, you know, processed again. But it is what it is. Dudes, look at this. I mean, it's a lot smaller than I was expecting. It looks massive online. I thought it was gonna be like a 40 or 50 pound motor or something. But no, it's tiny. Pretty cool. I think I got a pretty good deal on that. Because, yeah, there's some crazy expensive pumps out there. Or vacuum pumps. So this one came with a gauge, an exhaust, muffler. It also came with another one of these quick connects. So I believe you could use this as like a inflator as well. It's got dual pistons. You see it has an intake and exhaust. I just used the exhaust muffler supplied because yeah, I have enough air pumps. I needed good vacuumage. I mean, look at the size difference. This thing is tiny in comparison. But you can hear this one. That's the exhaust port right there at the bottom. There's like a little filter paper thing sticking out. Dude, this thing has no... Yeah, no wonder it wasn't working. Like, why even supply a pump that's not gonna work? Yeah, so this is garbage. But this one, dude, listen to this. Look at this. So this filtering stone they have on the top is quite restrictive. I mean, it needs to be there so that the paper doesn't get sucked down into the machine. But like, dude. That's insane. So I'm hoping it's not too powerful. That's my only concern. Maybe I overdid it a little bit. I just don't want the glass to implode or something to break. Alright guys, it's time for another 3-day harvest. This one I could probably honestly let it go for like 6 days. Because I'm just getting the little McNuggets here. But this one, if I let it go for another day, it's probably going to be under the wood and then I'll have a hard time getting it out. Those bars are starting to shrink already. It seems like the pure copper bar that I put in there is dissolving a lot faster than the impure bar for whatever reason. Just thought I'd bring that up. It's noticeable difference. So we're gonna harvest these. Turn off the cat zapper so I don't zap myself, and we're gonna try out the new vacuum pump and filter this guy out. We already filtered this one, kind of, and this one there's a big pile at the bottom. So might as well make sure that our new setup is gonna work properly. We got the new filters, which, dude, I was not, yeah, like, dude, check these out. Like, I don't know. We're gonna try one. But these feel like, dude, they feel like little thin pieces of plastic. How does that, I don't know. Look, they just stick to you from static. Like, they're weird. But yeah, we'll give it a shot. See how it works. Well, there it is. Dude, that is so heavy. Yeah, you can see that the McNuggets are falling off already. But this stuff, yeah, we're gonna have to do the old channel locks. All right, the weigh-in. Another 2 pounds for 3 days. So, but with that said, every time I run this wire again and again and again and break off what I can, the stuff that's stuck on there is growing to the point, it's starting to get really thick, and some of it's welded on there so hard I'm not getting it off. But there's still a lot left on the wire. But generally speaking, we seem to be around 2 pounds every 3 days. Alright, so I was trying to use my brain this time, because last time I royally screwed up, and I sat there and thought about it and realized what I did wrong, which made the whole process a lot more difficult. So I took the bin and I carefully, and I poured off as much as I could in one shot. Basically like trying to pour off the tops. And I guess you could, an even better way to do it would be to pump it out or siphon out the fluid, keeping the muck at the bottom. But I don't have one of those, so we just poured off the tops carefully, as much as I could, till I got down to the very, very bottom. And there was a huge pile of muck with a little bit of, copper sulfate fluid. It's impossible to save every last drop unless you have some sort of like special chemistry set up, which I do not. So the muck, once I was down to the muck, brought it outside like I did last time, rinsed it out with the hose, washed the muck into the dirt, right back in the earth where it came from. Yes, I know there could be other metals in it, but I'm not interested. You know what I mean? I'm not interested. I tried to use this like a pen, and all the little copper bits, they're still down there. So we still have those. I'm just gonna leave them down there. I'll just leave them down there until these bars are done. So now the bulk of the muck is gone. Yeah, look at those bars, dude. That's crazy. That is so weird. So now we're just gonna take this and run it through that, and hopefully it works this time. All right, here it goes. Proper filter this time and everything. Let's see. Wow, that filter is a fine filter. If it was a coffee filter, it would be whizzing through there fast right now. Guys, look at the difference. Filtered, unfiltered. That's insane. That is crazy. Yeah, guys, it was definitely the pump. 100%. Like that little pump that this setup came with, there's no way. You know, that thing was probably like -2 bar. This thing is like maxed out at -30. And this sucker is hot, man. Like it says do not touch right there on the side. Woo! She is warm. But yeah, it's freaking working awesome right now. Almost done. All right, guys. First piece of important data, my electric bill, which usually in the spring, winter, and fall is around 60 to 70 bucks. Sometimes it's 71, sometimes it's 65, but in that area. Summertime, when I have window air conditioners in, it goes up. It goes up to like 80 to 100 bucks in the summer. Where are we sitting at right now with no window air conditioners in? Should have been around 60 to 70 bucks. Oh, it came in at $70.34. Like I had not even a noticeable difference in my electric bill. Awesome. All right, guys, that took 30 minutes. That's not bad. So much better. You know, I want this to be enjoyable. I don't want to like dread, oh God, I got to filter the fluids out. You know what I mean? It was 30 minutes, including washing, drying the glassware, putting everything back, and setting it back up. Like, dude, that's not bad. Not bad at all. So I feel like we've been, messing around with this for like the last 3 weeks or so. 2 to 3 weeks, I think. The time flies sometimes. No, it's been 3 weeks. Yes, 3 weeks. But we messed around and we kind of perfected the purification process and scaled it up a little bit. And we're producing now 2 pounds every 3 days, which I'm totally happy with. But then we had to perfect the filtering process, which was kind of necessary. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's other ways to skin the cat, but I got the pump. I already had the glassware, whatever, and it's working great. You know what I mean? These lab filters are way more restrictive than a coffee filter, so, and they do a much better job as well. So, yeah, it is what it is. I had to invest more money. I have a total of $400 invested into this entire thing. That's with something else that I just bought 10 minutes ago, which we'll get into. But let's see what we have as of right now. So the bucket is 0.8 pounds. Oh yeah, there's some weight in there. So minus the 0.8, we have 12.1 pounds of pure copper crystal ready to be poured into pure copper bullion bars. But not enough yet to fire up the forge. We need to fill this bucket up to the top. So I'm thinking it's going to be another, I don't know, now that we have both of these going, I'm thinking 3 weeks-ish, we should be there. So I just wanted to show the process. I know everyone's interested in the end result, but I wanted to show the process and the struggles just in case anyone's actually interested in doing this for themselves at their house. I mean, I'm doing it right here in my living room. I have a cat. Yeah, it's fine. It just needs to be somewhere, like I would do this in my basement if I could, if I had easy access to it, but I don't. So I'm doing it in my living room. And it's fine. It's all good, but you know what? We do need to start thinking about the end product, because we have this, it's like a well-oiled machine now. All I need is a little bit more time and we're gonna be good to go. So I had to think about, like, I don't want to use any of the ingot molds or anything that's been used to melt scrap. I don't want to use for the pure stuff. So I got a new graphite ingot mold. I think it's slightly smaller than those 5-pound bars that we've been doing, but still, yeah, that's fine. And I have some concrete blocks out back that we're gonna put on my patio there that's sloped, and we're gonna shim it so that it's perfectly level in both directions. And basically I want to try to do this in one shot. I don't want to be grinding, sanding, and polishing the bars to a mirror, because it's so much extra work and you're just grinding off all the pure copper that you just put on, you know what I mean? It just seems silly. So I want to try to just pour them as cleanly as possible from the beginning, and it is what it is after that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wire brush them, make them shiny, make them look nice. They're gonna get stamped, and that's it, done. So that video will be coming. The next video that comes out will be us melting pure copper bullion bars, but it's gonna be a couple more weeks. So make sure you subscribe, keep an eye out, give me a thumbs up, you know, if you feel like it on your way out. See you later.